What's up, Kevin?
Uh, Give me $5. Give me $5. What's up, man? How you been?
I've been all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good week.
Oh,
This was a good
awesome.
week for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know if I can say it was a good week. It was great.
It was
It was great.
so stupid.
It was great. It
Oh,
was a
I
great
thought you were
week.
going somewhere else with
It was
that.
awesome. Oh my goodness, we had such a blast. Um, Saw a whole bunch of good movies, ate a bunch of good food, met a bunch of good people. What more could you ask for in life? $5.
Just
You
five
got,
dollars.
you got $5. So,
So, I want to talk about something a little bit. I know we tend to play a lot, etc.
mhm,
But today's topic, I want to shift gears
yeah.
um, and talk about something that I'm not really well versed on. So I think I'm going to be relying on you here.
Hmm.
Um, so,
You heard
like,
it from her lips, not mine.
yeah, yeah, yes. For the first time, I'm admitting there's something that you are more knowledgeable about, and
Uh-huh.
I'd like to learn a little bit more from you.
Okay, go
If
ahead,
we
Miss
were
Sherry.
married, you would never get that from me.
Inquiring minds.
You
Inquiring
would
minds
never
are
get that
so eager right now to
admission
know.
to from me.
Everyone's
Never.
eager to
But we're
know.
not married, so it don't matter. I don't care about what I give into or what I don't,
All right?
cause you
That
don't.
sounds horrible.
Cause you don't have that
Just so
place
you
in my
know.
life anymore.
Just so you, that sounds horrible. This is not the example to model after, young ladies.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
So
What is this
let me get a
wonderful
little bit
question?
more comfortable. All
Go-
right. So I guess the title for this would be respecting men's masculinity.
Mm,
Um, so let me elaborate. Um, so I grew up, and you know this, in a household where my mom is dominant,
yes.
and you've been witness to
Yes.
this, and dominant in the sense that she runs her household, she does what she wants.
Mm,
If she's unhappy with something, everyone knows she's demanding. There's very little um, I guess the word is power
so your mom she suffered
from the
from
male side.
she suffered from
From
toxic masculinity.
Did you just say toxic masculinity? That she suffers from that? Ooh, did you
That's
just
what
make that up on the spot?
no, that's what women call men. They say that about men that we have toxic masculinity. We mansplain all that kind of good stuff.
I don't what I don't I, whatever we want to title it. I just grew up not being sensitive to a man's masculinity. All right, so that's the background, right? So fast forward, you and I are dating and we're married.
Because mommy thought was more dominant in the home.
Yes.
Okay.
So when he says mamita, he's referring to my mom.
Yes.
That's her nickname.
Yes.
So fast forward, you and I are dating and we're married.
Yes.
And I think one of the things that led to our demise, it wasn't the ultimate reason.
Okay.
It was not the ultimate reason, but one of the things,
There were a lot of reasons. So you're listing one. Go ahead.
yes,
Okay.
I'm listing one, but it wasn't the ultimate because
Yeah.
there was an ultimate reason why we did not work out.
Okay.
But one of the things that I believe that I contributed to is that I really did not allow you to be a man in the marriage. I mean, I think I
Does someone allow someone to be that
I
or
see.
do that?
I don't know if it's an. I don't have. I'm not well versed in this area.
You mean you gave a lot of contention, like tension
I didn't give. I
on
didn't.
that, on certain things.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we butt heads a lot. I just didn't give you any room for you to step in and be the head of the household, to step in and be um, the man in the house. I wanted to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. If you disagreed with me, I did it anyway. I tried to fight with you, but there was not much compromise. And even when we argued, I remembered how vicious I was when we argued. The things that would come out of my mouth when we argued, I think, I get sick to my stomach every time I think about one of the comments I threw at you.
So what is it that saying is like what you say is like comes to life or something like that.
Something like that.
You
Oh,
can
don't
speak-
say
you
it
can
because I'm
speak
gonna say what
things-
the comment
No,
is.
I don't say it, but I'm just saying you know don't they say that like you can speak things into existence?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
there's-
I'm not that person anymore because I just the thought of it makes me feel icky.
And I'm saying it for some of the
but-
young girls that's out there.
Yeah,
kinda
that's what I'm saying.
Struggling, you know, with that, and you know young men which are speaking things out of their mouths and
When
saying
you're
certain
y-
things.
When
Yeah.
you are young, you do and you say a lot of things that you realize later on was due to a lack of maturity. And I was immature in relationships at that time. And one of the things that I said to you,
You're gonna actually say it. You don't have to say it.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. I mean, I'm not that person anymore. I feel icky when I think about it, but I'm
Don't
not
give
that
them
person
any
anymore.
juice.
I'm gonna give them some juice. Do you even know what it is? Do you think?
No,
No?
I don't even care. But go ahead. But go ahead.
I was pregnant with our first child,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And we got into an argument.
No.
They
don't get that one. Give them something else. They don't get that one. Forget them. I love you guys, but no.
But don't say it. You're
No,
serious?
I'm being dead serious. No, they
Okay,
don't get that one.
okay. But the point is, even the way I attacked when we got into arguments was
Yeah.
ugly. I stripped, I said things that stripped away your masculinity. I just did not allow our relationship to take I don't know if it's a natural state.
Well, I think
So I'm going to hand it over to you. That's why
Yeah.
I'm bringing up this topic, because I'm not that person anymore. And I just believe now that there's a certain way that a man, the standard man, the typical man, I don't want to apply this to all men, but there's a certain way that most men want to be in a relationship. And I didn't allow you to be that person. And so
Yeah,
I'll let you.
I think socially we kind of have that protective instinct for men, or at least it's kind of given to us just through social constructs as well, that men should protect, right? We shouldn't hit girls. We should protect girls, all that kind of stuff when you're growing up.
Right.
But it's just, I think it's also part of our nature. So it's that what you would consider dominance sometimes, or where we're trying to be the head of the home, right? That feeling that we have within us to lead, to guide, to kind of direct the family towards a higher being, a higher calling than ourselves, to be that provider. Those things that as men we believe that we should do, and I agree with them. Just so you know, we had that tension there, and I don't think you can really strip a man's masculinity away, because I think that's something innate in men. So it wasn't like stripping my masculinity away. What it was it wasn't allowing me to be that role in our family. That the nucleus that we had, everything that was going on outside of it, right? So, and then for internally as well, the struggle to be so real in the home as well as outside the home, from other family members and the things we were going through. It I won't say like made me like a toxic masculinity, but I couldn't find a compromise, because once again, like I was saying, the masculinity is kind of innate in us.
Right.
So a man can't really find a compromise unless he just doesn't be himself,
Right.
which I've watched some men do. I've watched some men, just give up on everything and let the woman lead and say, hey, happy wife, happy life, whatever she say goes, and I'm going to quiet down, and they just in a corner somewhere. And 30, 40, 50 years of marriage,
It works for them.
it works for them, right? But then you have the other spectrum of it, where that's where our dynamic sometimes pulled like a tug of war, where we both were dominant, we both very opinionated, we both were strong in our beliefs, and even though our beliefs aligned, the way that we wanted to do it caused those struggles. So for men themselves, that part of our masculine side, what you would call our masculine side, is where where we run into those struggles with women, because I think men should naturally have a place in the home to mess up. And when I mean mess up, that means to plan a decision for their family, try to go in the direction, and have room to make errors to where they can adjust. A lot of times, our wives become our mothers, where if they think it may not work out, not see, but they think it may not work out, they want to come and protect you from it, or to protect the family from it, without allowing it to evolve, right? And for me, I can't speak for most men, but for me, I don't mind a woman leading or taking a leadership role in the family when it's things that I know that I'm not strong in or that I'm not well versed on, because we play as a team. We work as a team.
Yeah.
And I think in a husband and a wife, they define what that team looks like.
Yeah.
Because from what I know, I ain't gonna say what I believe, it's what I know. It teaches me in my faith that it's just the father, the son, then the husband, and then the wife and the children. And the husband and the wife are one. So I think they make their dynamic up on how things work in the home. And I used to try to express that to you. And it used to be challenging at times. Because your youth played part of it, but also your the upbringing in your home, because Mamita was so dominant. Mamita she has a bigger presence in the room. And, and her and Papito work because he's on the other spectrum of the side of it, and it works for them, and it's beautiful, to see them. But for me, I'm not on that end of the side of the spectrum.
So, question. Mm-hmm. So now that I know, the approach to respecting a man's masculinity, if in my 20s, if I would have known what I know now, would things have been different with you and I?
Yes, because I believe that now you understand that, okay, like most young girls, they grew up being taught that they're looking for a soulmate. Young men are being taught that we're looking for a helpmate. And it's more realistic when it comes to what we're being preached. And I'm talking about from our background, right?
Okay.
So from our cultural background, predominantly our people are raised in churches. Mm-hmm. We go to churches, right?
Yep.
And a young girl, because of Disney and the social constructs and everything else, you find that most women believe in a soulmate. They're looking for their soulmate, right?
Yeah.
That perfect person, right? And a guy, he's just looking for a helpmate. And he's been told from his youth that a helpmate might be like Eve. She might mess up, but you can work with that, right? She might not be as perfect as you think she is, but you can work with that. Right, so I never was looking for someone to complete me,
right,
or for someone to make me happy, or because I believe that I share my happiness with someone. It's not your job to make me happy. It's not my job to make you happy. It's for us to find what makes us happy and then share that with one another. Spend our lives together, embracing the things that we enjoy doing and sharing them with one another. Right. So if I'm looking for a helpmate, and the young lady that I run into is looking for a soulmate, and she's looking for someone to complete her. I'm not looking for someone to complete me. I'm just looking for someone to come along and help, right? Help raise these kids, help pay these bills, help all these things. And then they say they're looking for those things, but I also got to complete them at the same time. I don't think you have that view anymore, being that we're all the conversations we've had, I don't think you're looking for some. You wouldn't be looking for another young man to come along and complete you and make you happy. You understand the difference
There's
between
a
all of that now.
there's a difference.
Yeah, and when we were younger, that was a lot of the struggles because the idea of what you had of the way things should have been.
Yeah.
So when I would say, "Hey, no, we could do this or that can wait," or then you would go out because you believe we should have it or we should do it or it should be this way, and and because we're both go-getters, right? And I'm a little OCD and you're a little ADD. so we would bump heads a lot, right?
Well, we got a lot done.
And we would get it down. We would get it down. We get it down, baby. We used to make it happen. But I think because of that reality, that just for that, and I'll repeat it again, because young men are taught to look for a helpmate, and young women are looking most of the time for what they found in Disney or what was preached to them as a soulmate. The view of it is just, only one of them can be right. And I think in the book it says somewhere that God made Adam a helpmate.
Yeah.
Because he's his soulmate. And same for the woman, that he's your soulmate. And we're supposed to help one another.
So I like how you said it's, for me, what I took away from that conversation is that we're a team. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a team player. I thought I was being a team player. Hey, if I come to you and I ask for something, the answer should be yes. Mm-hmm. And if it's not yes, then you're the one that's not being a team player. And that I didn't know better back then. And it's not even just the masculinity part isn't even just us trying to work together, mm-hmm. but it was also in the tone of my voice. Mm-hmm. It was just also the if you got it, I was in your face. Mm-hmm. I remember those times that I would just get in your face, and be wild. It's all of that.
Then I'll bite you. Oh.
Where does that come from? Why is there a masculinity? Why is that there?
So we see it all through nature, right? So let's just start with the basic part, because I speak for everyone else, but I attribute nature with God. I think they're one and the same, because I think anything that comes from Him and obeys His will is tied to Him, right? So just like we are, right? And because it's bound to the construct that He has it in, we see it all through nature. We see where in animal kind and plant kind and all right kind that you can put in, where the male of that right is going to be the one that is surrounded around that family, that nucleus part. So even when you see the lioness, right, mm-hmm. because they go out, they do the hunting. They're the baddest of the plain, right? So, but yet and still, when the father's around, right, when he's around, when he's in the midst, and you watch the way that everything kind of gels together and how it works, it's a beautiful thing. So I don't think the masculinity is there as a negative construct when it's used the right way. I think it's only negative when men take advantage of what they were giving godly.
That's
right?
a good one.
And then it can be problematic. But for us, right, if we're talking about just our relationship and my relationship with my sisters and with other women that I've been involved with, even with Nikki, my other kid's mom. So when it comes to just the way that it's been with me, I am kind of dominant, right? I am kind of upfront, in your face. I say what I believe. I stand firm on my views, and I try to back them up with facts, right? Not a lot of feeling to go towards it. But
that's another episode.
yeah,
You
but
back your
well, a lot of facts.
with facts,
Yeah,
not
a lot of facts.
emotions, but
Yeah.
sometimes your facts are delusional.
Well,
Your facts, the
the
facts that you believe in your
yeah,
brain.
yeah.
But we're gonna
The
save that for another episode.
I think the facts are delusional as well. But hey, I
But
gotta obey them just like you. I mean, look at gravity. It's crazy. But hey, but we gotta obey the laws of it, right? So it's just the way that it is when it comes to masculinity overall.
yeah,
I think it's a natural thing. I think it's part of nature in itself. So if we can see that within nature, and then you see it within men, no one should really be calling it toxic unless it is toxic, right? Natural masculinity shouldn't be called toxic masculinity. A man's nature to want to protect and provide and to lead his home shouldn't be something unnatural. It should be something that we should all want in our families. But if women don't want it, if some women don't have that, and may they have more of the masculine side, there are men that are on the feminine side that these masculine women can be with. I think that's where the balance is. It's hard when you find. I think it's never going to work when you get two masculine people,
Yeah.
or two people who want to embrace that part of nature. It needs to be a balance there. So I would tell all the women who want to be dominant, who want to lead, don't go and try to find you this boss dude, this dude who's already out there and trying to, govern himself the way that he should do as a man, and make him into your own image or what you want him to be. He has to be what God wants him to be, not what we want him to be. But there are men that are out there that are feminine or more on the feminine side, and that's not something negative, that are designed for that same woman. And I think they should look for those men, and they would make a gooder match, a better match, and probably produce, just as good as a family nucleus as what we consider the norm would be.
yeah,
Even though I think they both the norm. I think it is, because I like what Mami and Papi Tho have. It's beautiful at times to watch,
yeah.
and even though she is more on the dominant side, so, and I want some of what they have, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in marriage. Like, who wouldn't want that?
It works for them.
Yeah.
Like you said, we define what that relationship looks like. Couples, they define what their standards are, right? I think for young women out there, for me, my biggest lesson from this is there is a male masculinity. Yes, we're living in a society where women's rights, and we're pushing for the same things as men. And I believe myself to be a semi-feminist. And so I say this knowing that I'm a semi-feminist. I want to be careful with my words here.
I think most all men are feminists. When you look up what the word feminist means.
Let's not change topics here. It's 23 minutes, James. 23 minutes. Let me close out.
The
You're
last
doing
one.
it.
Go ahead. Don't cut that out either.
No, you got it.
Leave that part in there, definitely. I think all men are, but go ahead.
How this topic started was me talking about my upbringing and why I was who I was when I was with you. And so I feel there is a need for me to give people this advice, young women this advice as well, is there is a male masculinity. And as a semi-feminist, the advice that I'm giving is that, we should respect it. Whatever we define that relationship to be, in the midst of it, we want to respect it, because some of the things that I did when I was younger, I wish that I could take back. The way that I spoke to you, the way that I treated you, it does break a man's spirit. It really does break their spirit, because some of the things that you've brought up when we used to talk about, why we could no longer be together.
Healing process, yeah.
Right, during our healing process were things that I said to you. And if I could take it back, I would. I saw what it did to you. And so my advice is, there is a male masculinity, no matter no matter how we transform in society as women, and pushing for the things that we're pushing for, and it's fair.
Equality.
It is fair. Equality is fair. I just believe firmly that within equality, we should still allow that man to be masculine. Like you said, it's natural. It's natural with animals. And I think learning from our relationship, not giving you that, broke a piece of us that could not be repaired. And so that's why my advice is allow, you create your relationship, but give some room for a man to be a man within us women wanting to be equal. It sounds like it sounds unorthodox, right? It doesn't even sound like it goes together, but there is a way
for our modern time.
Yeah, there is a way for it to still work.
Because the way that my parents were raised, it was natural to hear those words.
Yeah,
a woman wasn't less equal because the man was the head of the home.
Right.
But
yeah,
the way it is now, yes. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna wrap this one up. Please leave your posts, your comments. If you have any questions, leave those as well. We love to hear from you guys. We enjoy making these videos for you, and we can't wait to catch you guys on the next one.
See ya.